So we live in this illusion that all the knowledge is there and we can find everything. But are we really able to find everything? Or are we only able to find those things we already have thought or heard about before?
There has never been so much knowledge out there as today. It's very easy to access information. And how to put information in order, that was always interesting for humans. In the Middle Ages or early modernism, people created different images to give themselves an idea of orientation, like put themselves into relation to the cosmos. I was wondering, is it possible to translate this kind of interesting appearance that those visual ordering systems have into a different medium that's more contemporary? So can I translate that feeling of diving into a book, of diving into a print, into a virtual space, for example? My name is Marlene Bart. I'm a visual artist based in Berlin, and I work mostly on the intersection of visual art, anatomy, and natural history. Sometimes I meet people that are a bit suspicious and they're like, are you an artist or a researcher? So they want to hear one response to that question. But I think in my case, it's really the combination of art and research that keeps me working and driving and also creates interesting pieces in the end. So I go to a museum or I go into a library and I think everything is ordered. But at the same time, we know it's impossible to bring all the knowledge in the world together in one place. But those spaces are still so important because they give us that feeling.
They play with our fascination.
I try to avoid the spoken in my artworks. Doesn't matter if I use printmaking or virtual reality or any other medium, because I realized at some point that working with purely visual information is also my way to express myself. So I truly believe that there is something as a visual language that can tell stories or that can also take us into a world where we can't get only with words. Quite often I also start working on projects because I get just excited about something that enters this general cosmos I am living in. For example, I was collaborating a lot with taxidermists from the Natural History Museum, so I actually had the chance to watch them working, but also like do a little bit of taxidermy by myself. It's not something that I do just to keep myself busy. I do it because I have to. So there's really like a natural force inside of me that makes me do it somehow. That gives at least like the starting point for it. It's not doing the whole work, but it keeps me going somehow. But of course, sometimes you feel a bit empty. That can also be part of the process, but I think that's also absolutely okay. Because the same like with order and chaos, it's never only one thing. It's always ambivalent, it's always dynamic. This is also a bit related to an emptiness where I'm not actively producing art. It's more kind of like reordering myself, putting myself back into a state of mind where I can start creating. For me, it was always clear that I have to go out in the world, that I have to talk to people, that I have to learn a lot of things to create interesting work. You like throw yourself into that and then you really get into this flow that you can't stop working on something. But I can do that for hours, just like working on the relationships, on those different images, creating new compositions.
Following my intuition.
I definitely want to create a feeling that motivates us to continue telling those stories, changing visual systems, building new categories, elements, connections. I think that's so important, that the story continues and that it's developing, that's dynamic, that knowledge is not something that's in a box, it's something fluid, something that we can have an influence on.